Welcome everyone to our very first podcast of the Dental Pipeline podcast. My name's Sam Jolly, and I'm here with my co-host Russell Bodley. Russell, why don't you say hi and introduce yourself a little bit?
Hey everybody, my name is Russell Bodley. Like Sam said, it's been a long time coming. We're super excited to get this ball rolling, and so my name's Russell Bodley. I am currently going into my D2 year at Kansas City University. I've pretty much always loved dentistry. We're going to talk a little bit about that in the next episode. So I just finished up my first year. It was a really big grind, but it's been super fun. Everything that I've learned has been enjoyable, and I've been able to put some skills to use, and we've actually been drilling and stuff. So it's been a lot of fun, and I'm excited for this second year. But this podcast, Sam and I thought it would be fun to put something together, and so here we are. Sam, how about you? You tell us about yourself.
So, unlike Russell, I'm not as advanced in my years and wisdom quite yet. I'm actually starting my first year of dental school at Loma Linda University this upcoming fall. So, I mean, the countdown's on. We're just a few months out from me starting. I know Russell, he goes back to classes, Monday? So
Yep.
so
Yep.
he's starting his second year right here around the corner, and I've got a few more months to prepare myself. But anyways, we're excited. With the time we had on our hands, the free time without having school, we decided let's get something together and do something we've been hoping to do for some time now, to start this podcast. So we're excited. And with that in mind, we wanted to introduce the podcast. The purpose of this episode is kind of just to introduce ourselves a little bit, where we're at in the dental pipeline, but also to talk about why we felt the need to start this podcast. And I think we can summarize the purpose of this podcast or channel in three words, being educate. Our purpose is to educate, elevate, to help you and ourselves succeed. So Russell, why don't you jump in, tell us a little bit about what we're thinking when we talk about to educate. What does that mean for us?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so first off, education is huge in the dentistry world. Your entire life leading up to dental school has been education. You've been learning and growing and developing those skills that are necessary to get to dental school. And so we kind of want to talk a little bit about that, kind of the pathway getting to dental school. And so we thought that was important. Recently, Sam and I have received a lot of messages from students that are now applying and are getting into the cycle to get into dental school. We've received a lot of questions. And so we thought, what better way to answer those questions than to make a podcast and get together and try to share our wisdom. We're not professionals by any means, but we thought it would be fun to just throw our wisdom out there, what we've learned throughout the process, because sometimes those questions can be really hard to find answers to. And it's nice to have somebody who's gone through it that can kind of walk you through that step by step. And yeah, so that's kind of what we're here for. And education is extremely important. And that's that's one of our pillars of this podcast. So that second pillar is elevate. Sam, why don't you tell us a little bit about elevating?
Awesome. Yeah, thanks, Russ. So thinking and before we do hit elevate, I think, or I guess as we hit elevate, it's important to recognize that kind of what Russell mentioned, when we do educate when we educate ourselves or go under education, that is a way of elevating our lives, right? But the elevate we've kind of decided to describe, and the way we think we can best elevate ourselves and you through this podcast is by something we like to call the 4 C's: creating a culture of community, of collaboration. So that's kind of the purpose. We want to create a culture and community of collaboration. And what we mean by that is we want this platform to be a space where not only it's just us telling you a bunch of things, but where you feel comfortable as a listener, whether you're on YouTube or in podcasts or whatever, to reach out to us with not just questions, but insights you have as well. Like Russell mentioned, we by no means are professionals, but we have experienced what it's like to apply to dental school, and we have experienced these steps. And I think sometimes the knowledge that comes from experimenting or actually experiencing something versus then just learning about it in a book or reading about it on a blog online can be super beneficial. And we recognize that a lot of you also have that experimental knowledge, and that's why we want to invite you to be a part of this with us. to join in this dental pipeline team. We don't want you to think as simply the dental pipeline as Sam and Russell, but we really want you to think you are also a part of this and helping shape it and grow it. So that's kind of our main thought process with Elevate. Is there anything else, Russell, that comes to mind when you think about Elevate, that being our second thing?
Yeah, I think a lot of times people are scared to go to dental school because they know it's hard, and they hear horror stories about some of the past. Like sometimes in the past there have been people who just they gatekeep everything from each other, and they don't share, they don't try to help each other out and collaborate. And we want this to be a platform of collaboration, like Sam said, where as dentists, when we're out in the real world, we need to collaborate to succeed. And that kind of leads us on to our next point. So success, we want everybody that has the desire to become a dentist to have some extra resources to help them achieve that goal. Because in the end of the day, we need dentists, and dental work and healthcare work is extremely important. One of the things I like about success is a lot of people think that success is when you accomplish something really great. And yes, that is a form of success, but a lot of times it's the small and simple things that we do that bring a lot of success. We need to have those small, simple steps along the path and along the way to achieve something great. And it's those small successes that we want to be able to celebrate on this podcast, and that we want to help you kind of decide and decipher which of these steps you should take or that you could take, and really just be a resource for everybody.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. We can truly succeed together as we come together, right, in this culture and community of collaboration. And I think that's what kind of interdigitates or links in all of these three points together, these three purposes, is that ultimately when we come together to learn and help one another and collaborate, we're going to find success. And that success may be big, small, and it's going to look different for everyone. And we recognize that. We recognize that the things we share are not one size fit all. Lots of times you have your own story, you have your own background, but the purpose of this is we really do just want to create a community, but also create a platform where you can learn a few things. And if it helps even just you one time, then that's a win in our books, right? That's a win for us for sure. And I think ultimately this is just a great opportunity for me to have a good excuse to get Russell to hang out with me on this podcast. So it's awesome. I enjoy it because we've been friends for a long time, high school buddies and roommates in college, and we'll hit a little bit more on that in future episodes. But because we've had this friendship, we want to extend that friendship and that connection to a lot more people in the rest of the dental community. And we've seen it be a huge, huge help and blessing in our lives, and we want you guys to feel that same thing. So, Russell, is there anything else you'd like to add as we wrap up this episode?
Yeah, just remember that failure is a part of success as well. It's okay to fail at some things. We can't be successful in absolutely everything we do, and failure is a part of the learning process. So that's all I can add. And we're so excited for this podcast. We're excited to get the ball rolling, and we're excited to see you in some future episodes.
True that. Okay. Stay sweet, everyone, but not too sweet. Otherwise, you'll get cavities. We'll see you next time on the Dental Pipeline. Till then.